So I've just started recording. Okay, so welcome and thank you for coming on the evening on Monday. Maybe you're going back to school soon. I know for some of you this is still your holiday, so thank you very much for coming today. Okay, so first today, I wanted us to do something a little bit silly. Do you have a pen and a piece of paper? Yeah? Perfect. You see, you listened to me. Perfect. So on your piece of paper, I want you're going to write 3 things. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay. And the first thing I want you to write is your name. Okay. So I'm going to write Erica, for example. You write your name. Okay. And then number 2, I want you to write the first job you ever had in your life. Okay? The first job you ever had in your life. Okay. And the third thing I want you to write is something you learnt doing that job. Okay? So something you learnt when you were doing that first job that you had. Okay? Okay. Do you have your 3 things? Yeah? Okay, great. So these are my 3 things. Okay? So I'm just going to introduce myself. My name is Erica. All right. And my first job was as a waitress in my hometown in a little cafe, my friend's mum's cafe. And I was 14 and I worked as a waitress in the cafe. And the thing I learned was to always smile, even when everything is crazy, there's no food left, the coffee machine has broken. Always smile and it will be okay. All right. So, Manuel, can you tell us about your job?
Yeah, yeah. People call me Afonso, but I'm Manuel Afonso.
Sorry, Alfonso.
Yeah. No, it's okay. It's okay. It's Afonso. Yeah, Manuel is okay too. I started as a seller. I used to sell medicine and market. It's an informal market. Yeah, as a seller. And the thing I learned is getting up early because you had to get up at 5 o'clock. Yeah,
Ooh,
otherwise you wouldn't sell. So
yeah.
I would get up at 5 o'clock. So as at 8 o'clock everything is done.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was
Important
perfect.
thing to learn. 5 o'clock.
Yeah,
Ouch.
yeah.
Okay.
Imagine a very young you get up very early. Oof, that's really a fight. Yeah, thank
Great.
you.
Thank you, Alfonso. Thank you, Alfonso. And Cassandra, what about you? Tell us about your first job. Ah, yeah.
Hello.
Hi, Cassandra.
Okay.
Perfect.
My name is Boyd,
Ah,
and the first job that I did was a salesman in a shop.
ah.
Yeah. So the first thing that I learned was to be good to people. Everyone who used to come in the shop have to smile and to show that I was really good, so that they could buy from my shop. Yeah,
Ah,
that is that.
perfect. Thank you, Boyd. Caetano, can you do it first? What was your first job?
Well, thank you. Well, my first job was, teacher. As a
Always
teacher,
a teacher.
yes, yes, always a teacher. And yes, I started teaching at the age 17. Yes.
Yeah.
The and well, the thing I learned, I mean, one of the things I learned was well, to be creative, smile, I mean, to your students. So be gentle to the point that you create, you manage the classroom, but the students learn by playing.
Yeah. Okay. That's lovely, Caetano. Thank you. That's great. So I think, Njamba, can you tell us?
Yes, yes. My first job was health education.
Sorry, Njamba, what was your first job?
Sorry, Erica, I think Moises should mute his.
Yeah, I just muted him. Njamba, can you tell us your first job?
Yes, my first job was I worked as a health educator.
A health?
Can we help?
Ah, okay. And what did you learn?
I learned a lot of things. I learned about how to be social people. I learned about this, how you can transmit some sexual transmitted diseases. A lot of things.
Yeah,
I learned about
camera.
Lots of things. Yeah. But the first one was about people and working with people. Yeah,
Yes, yes.
great. Okay, and let's try Moises one more time. Yeah?
Yeah, my first job was a teacher. I started teaching at the age of 20 years old. And one of the things that I learned as a teacher is that I always have to be motivated and have a smiling face with my students.
Okay, great. Thank you. That's great. Some of you have been teachers from very, very young ages as well. Years and years of experience. Great. So let's think about this activity that we just did together, asking about your first job. Why did I do this activity? What do you think? Tell me. Any idea?
Motivation?
Motivation, Caetano. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
Warming
agree,
up.
Cassandra? Great.
Yeah,
yeah. This is a warm-up activity in order for us to get started into the program. Yes, to be ready for the program.
Great, exactly. And if you don't know each other, you learn something funny about each other.
okay. Yes.
How you know?
I think.
Yeah.
Mm,
Kangala?
yeah, I would like to say this activity was to get to know each other.
Yeah,
You know.
great. So we often call that activity an icebreaker. Do you use the same phrase? Yeah, an icebreaker.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Great. So that's just one example of an icebreaker that maybe you might want to use in a workshop with some participants from your region. Okay? So next thing I want you to do is on your piece of paper again, okay? I want you to write one word to show how you're feeling about the idea of leading a workshop, okay? So one word about how you're feeling about the idea of leading a workshop. Okay, so write down your word. Okay, and when you have your word, can you hold it to the screen so I can try to see it? Okay. So let's see, I can see. Fonzo's excited. Oh, Moises is also excited. That's good to see. Cassandra, let's see what. Happy, great. I'm glad you're happy. Yeah. Okay, that's all. Oh, yes. And Njamba, I can't quite see it. What's he saying? Is he happy? Is he excited? I don't know. Maybe the other side of your piece of paper. I can't quite see it, Njamba. Okay, but the ones I've seen so far have been very positive, so that's great. Okay, so
Yeah,
I'm
can you
gonna
see this?
give you some information. Ah, yeah. Ready, Caetano. I love it. I think Caetano was born ready. Okay, I'm going to share my screen and we'll look at some information about workshops together. Okay, so let me just get the right thing to share. Here we go.
Oh, come on.
Okay, can you see my screen okay?
Mm.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, you can see it. Thanks, Cassandra. That's great. Okay, so
Yes, I can see.
perfect. Thank you. Okay, so today the main things that we're going to look at are exactly what is a workshop, what do we mean when we talk about a workshop, what's the leader's role, so if you decide to run the workshop, then what's your role, and the specific aims for the Prelim 3 workshop. And then we'll also look at some resources that I've created to help you to lead a workshop for the Prelim 3 project, okay? And so then you can see what have we got and is there anything else that you need and to make you feel confident about running the workshop, all right? So first, let's think a bit about what makes a good workshop, okay? So I'm just going to share a few things that I know from experience make a good workshop. So the first thing is to have really clear outcomes and to follow a clear plan. And later I'll give you a plan for a workshop that you can use if you want, or you can adapt it and change parts of it if you prefer. And a good workshop is also not a meeting and not a lecture, okay? So in a lecture, how many people talk in a lecture? Is it one person or many people?
One to one.
Thanks, Cassandra. Yeah, just one person, right?
One person, right?
Yeah. So a workshop is not about one person talking, it's about everyone being involved and getting interested in the topic. So it also provides what we call hands-on experience. So real experience. And in this case, it'll be real experience of using the materials from the resource package. Okay. It's also interactive, like we said, not a lecture. So everyone has a voice that is valued and the leader will value the people in the room and try to get everyone to speak as much as possible. And it normally has step-by-step activities that always try to involve every participant as much as possible. It has a facilitator or a leader, and it tries to motivate participants so that they start using the ideas or the materials that you've discussed. So for us in Prelim 3, that will be the resource package that we've been creating. And finally, a good workshop is balanced. So it's not super intensive and not really slow. It's a good mix of energy and it's quite flexible. So the workshop leader can think, okay, I need a bit more time. They need more time to discuss this. I give them more time here and then less time on something else. Okay. All right. So let's think about you as the workshop leader. Okay. So here are some roles. Oops. Okay. here are some roles of the workshop leader. So sometimes the workshop leader might be a presenter. So they give some information, a bit like I'm doing now. Yeah, I'm showing you some slides, I'm giving you information. And then other times the workshop leader could be a teacher. So maybe using materials with the participants like you do in your normal classes, but with other teachers. And then when you do that, you're demonstrating activities and you're being a model of really good teaching for other teachers to experience. Okay. And sometimes the workshop leader is a facilitator. So they help people to understand, they help people to discuss, they give a good environment so that everybody can achieve the aims of the workshop. They're also a timekeeper, so checking that they have time for each activity. And what's really important for us is that the workshop leaders for this project should be colleagues. So not me in a different country, but you guys in Angola, your experienced teachers, your colleagues to the other participants in the workshop. So anything that you say, you really understand the context that they're working in, and you can really support them to understand how they can use the resources. And of course, the idea is that you motivate the participants to use the resources as much as possible. So the one thing that you're not is a lecturer, yeah? So it's not 1 hour of you talking, so don't worry. Okay? All right. So for the Prelim 3 project, we've got a few different goals, and I'll just show them here. So there are 4 main goals. The first one is to share the project goals with the participants. So you can tell them about the British Council project, that they're creating a resource package for teachers in different parts of the world, and this one is with Angola. You can give them an overview of the resource package. So there are 3 parts to our resource package. Can anyone tell me one of the parts to our resource package? Can you remember the different parts? Yeah?
One of the resource package we have is the materials, lesson materials.
Yeah, great, Moses. Yeah. So we've got the lesson materials, good. And then anyone help with another part?
Can I come up with the net?
Go for it, Moses.
For capacity building, I think.
What was that, Cassandra?
I was saying capacity building.
Capacity building.
Building, yeah.
Yeah. So we do that through the lessons and also through Moses, did you know?
Yeah. We have lesson materials and we also have games and activities.
Yeah, great. And then also the videos. I think maybe Cassandra, you watched some of those videos as well.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So through those 3 resources, the lesson materials, the games and activities, and the teaching techniques videos, that's our resource package. Yeah. So we want to give them an overview of that resource package so they understand what's in the package. Okay. So the next thing we want to do is to familiarize the participants with these resources. Okay. So we need them to look at the lesson plans and try out a game and watch one of the videos so they really experience the resource package. Okay. And of course, a very important aim is to motivate the participants in 2 ways. So one way is so that they will use the resource packages themselves with their classes. They'll take a lesson and go and use it. They'll take a game and go and use it. But also so that they think, oh, this is good. I can share it with the other teachers in my school. So that way more people learn about the resource package and choose things from it that they want to use. Okay? Sound okay so far?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, great. All
Right.
right. Okay, so let's stop sharing for a moment. And so let's think about this workshop. What do you think is going to be in the workshop? What do you imagine? What kind of activities?
Yeah.
Go on, Kangala, you got an idea?
Yeah. I think so. In the workshop, we shall be talking about the techniques that we should use while running a workshop.
Okay. So, okay, so you'll talk about techniques, yeah? Maybe the techniques that are in the videos, for example. Yeah?
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
so you might say, oh, we've got these teaching techniques videos. These are the
Mhm.
kinds of techniques that are in them, definitely. Yeah. What do you
Yeah.
think the teachers will be doing in a workshop? Just sitting there listening?
No.
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 No. Yeah.
What are they going to be doing? Cassandra, what do you think?
I think they will be trying to teach using the lesson materials that are in the package.
Okay, great.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
They
so
will try
maybe
them in the workshop. Yeah.
okay, great. So maybe actually trying out the materials. Yes, definitely. Okay. So I have created a plan for this specific workshop. Okay. And you can change things if you want, that's okay. But it gives you a basic plan that you can follow so you can feel confident if you haven't done a workshop before. Okay. So I'll share my screen and share the workshop plan with you. Okay. All right, so here it is. Let's see. Can you see it?
Yes, we
Yeah,
can.
great. Okay. So I've suggested 6 short activities for this workshop. Okay. So the main resource package are these 3 parts. Yeah. The game, the lesson materials, and the teaching techniques. All right. So the first activity is an icebreaker activity, like we did with your first job. Yeah. An
Mhm.
activity that gets teachers talking and sharing things about themselves. Okay. So the aim of that activity is to warm everyone up, as you said before, yeah, and create a really good atmosphere in the group. So to help you with that, I've got a document that has 3 example icebreakers, and you can choose one that you like, and you can use that one. Or you can use a different one that you know if you prefer, okay? And then I think it's important that we tell the teachers a little bit about the project, okay? So the goals of the Prelim 3 project and how the resource package has been created, all right? So that's a very short presentation, 5-10 minutes maximum, okay? And to help you with that, I have written a presentation script, okay? So you can use that or you can change some bits if you want, okay? And I also have some slides like this one, yeah? I have some slides. If you have a computer with a projector, for example, you can show slides if you want. You don't have to, okay? Like you said, Cassandra, they're going to do a game, okay? So this is where you choose a game or activity from the resource package. Maybe, for example, how often do you banana? You remember that activity? Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
I know some people liked that activity. Okay, so you choose one that you really like, okay? And you do it with the participants. So the participants are your students, okay? So you choose your favorite game, you do it with the participants, and then I have some reflection questions for the teachers to think about the activity, think about the aims of the activity, and how they can use it with their students. Okay? So the next part, sorry, that was my dog, very noisy dog. So the next part is with the lesson materials. And for this, I'm suggesting a familiarization task. So this will be, you have small groups of teachers, participants, and each group has a lesson plan from the resource package, okay? And they look at the lesson plan and they think about what are the features, what are the design features in this plan? How did we design it, okay? So this gets them to identify the features of the design. How is it created? And this helps them to understand the lesson plans, and it gets them to look at a lesson plan in detail, so they feel more confident looking at other lesson plans afterwards. And my suggestion for this is that the teachers look at one lesson plan, then they move and look at a different one, then they move and look at a different one. So they look at least 3 different lesson plans. And I have a list of the features in each of the lessons, the design features for you. So you can make sure that they're noticing the right things in the lesson plans, okay? So the last really important part is looking at the teaching techniques videos. So we've had a demonstration with the game, we've had a familiarization task. Now we're going to have a brainstorming task. So this is the teachers in small groups. They think, what are the most important techniques that teachers need to teach in a communicative approach? Okay. So they come up with ideas, yeah, maybe thinking, oh, they need to be very clear with their instructions, or they need to manage the discipline in the classroom, or they need to help students with pronunciation, for example. Okay. So they brainstorm the task. So they brainstorm all the techniques that they might need. And then you show them some of the techniques that are covered in the videos. So you show them, these are the videos that we have, and they watch an example of the video. If you have a computer or a projector, they can watch an example of one of the videos. And then again, I have some reflection questions that you can ask the participants so they can think about which tips are most useful for them, what things do they need to adapt for their classroom. Okay. And then the last part is the close of the workshop. And here I'm suggesting that you have a part where you say thank you, of course, and then where you encourage them to use the resource package in their classrooms. We're also going to give every participant a USB memory stick with the full resource package on it. So they can leave with the resource package on a memory stick. And also you'll tell them that we're going to make a group for them on WhatsApp as well. Okay, so they can ask questions if they're not sure about anything, and so that we can go back to them and try to get some feedback from them as part of our monitoring and evaluation of the project. Okay, so
Good.
how do you feel about this plan so far? Can you show me? What are you thinking?
Yeah, yeah, it's
Feel
great.
okay? Feels okay from Congo.
Yeah,
Okay, people are okay with it. Okay,
yeah.
this is good. So I'll just show you. I've got more useful things for you. I'll show you where they are so that you can go and look through them in a relaxed way and see how they work. Okay, so yeah. So hopefully some of you have seen this before. Have you seen this Google Drive before, some of you?
Yes, already.
Yeah.
I have been using it.
Brilliant, Kangla, that's great.
Yes.
Yeah, great. So you've got the games and activities in here. And yeah, here's some in there. You've got the lesson materials for the lesson plans for term 1, term 2, term 3. And in the next 2 or 3 weeks, I will add more to this resource package. Okay, so there'll be more
Okay.
materials for you. We've got the teaching techniques videos, and in here you'll see you've got these are the actual videos. Okay, so if you wanted to, you could download a video to your computer if you have a computer you want to use. Okay. But the new thing for you is for workshop leaders down here. Okay. So in here, I have useful information, things I think will be useful for you. So I have number 1 is a template. So this is the workshop plan, basically, that I just talked to you about. But it has a little bit more detail for you. Okay, so it gives you what's the stage, it says what might happen, it gives you an idea for the time to help with managing the time and what materials you'll need. Okay, so that's for the 6 stages of the workshop. Okay, and then the next thing I have for you is something a little boring. Just a form with the contact details for the participants. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and here you can see there are 12 participants. So the workshops will be for more or less 12 people. Okay, not a huge group. All right. And then I said we have some ideas for icebreaker activities. So this document has my first job, the one you just did today, and then some other suggestions. There's one crazy questions and Pictionary. Okay. And the next document is the presentation script. So the second stage of the plan. If you want, you can use this so you can read it when you present, or you can look at it for ideas if you want. And it has the goals, the resource package, information about the resource package, and the aims of that workshop. And if you want, you can show some slides at the same time. So I've prepared some slides that you can change or you can use if you want. So for example, it has some of the goals for the Prelim 3 project, has information about the resource package, the aims of this workshop. And also for some of the activities, it has the reflection questions, the instructions, yeah, and some of the design features for the lesson materials, and the list of videos and questions for them to ask. Okay, so that is just as a PDF like this. and it's also there as a PowerPoint slide. So
Yeah.
if you prefer to use PowerPoint slides, you could use it as slides like I do in these sessions with you. Okay. And then I've also put the lesson design features into just one page. So if you don't want to use the slides, you could just have this, and then you can check through what are all the features of these lessons that you want other participants to notice. And the final thing is just some suggestions and advice about how to help workshop interaction. Okay. How to make sure that everyone gets the most possible out of the workshop, right? So that is all in that folder for workshop leaders, okay? And that's inside where we have the whole resource package already, okay?
Mm.
So at this point, let's see, how are you feeling about the idea of leading a workshop?
Yeah, I think I feel a little bit positive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, good. Angela, Kangala, you said you feel a little bit relieved, was that? Or
So
how did you feel, Kangala?
I've said I feel positive.
Ah, positive. Great.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good. Okay. So maybe you also have some questions in your mind. Yeah.
Mm.
Let's see. What do you have any questions? What kind of questions do you have about these workshops?
Okay.
Let's see. Does anyone have any questions?
Mm.
Yeah. Njamba, what's your question?
Yeah, to start with, you are saying the workshop will have the maximum number of people, of teachers. For me, I think it's too small because in everything,
I can't hear you, Njamba. I'm sorry. It's
So I
very,
can.
very broken.
I can't either. Yeah, it's broken.
Yeah. And Jamba, maybe is it possible to use the chat to send us a message, maybe? With your question? Let's try that. Try to send the message with the question. Yeah.
all right. Okay.
Does anybody else have a question about the workshops? What are you thinking?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kangala. You got a question, Kangala?
Yeah. So of course, yeah, I would like to know if after attending this workshop, if we are recommended to go to share this workshop with the other colleagues.
So not yet. Okay.
Okay.
So in October,
Okay.
Analta,
Yeah.
Caetano, and Caetano really, will be organizing a schedule for workshops, one workshop in every region of Angola. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So this is a plan for that workshop in October.
Okay.
So there's a whole month for you to think and decide, are you happy to do the workshop? Yeah. And to prepare to do the workshop. Okay. And Njamba has just asked, how long is the workshop going to take? I think that is. Yeah, thank you, Njamba. That's a great question. So the plan I have, created is for approximately 2 hours, more or less. Okay. So a 2-hour workshop. All right. But there are places where you could make it shorter or make it longer, definitely, as well. Okay. And I put some
So being,
suggestions.
being flexible.
Yeah, yeah. So, for example, in your region, our plan is that the workshops are more or less half a day. Okay. So, first they have to arrive, you have to get all their contact information. Yeah. It always takes some time to get everybody settled. Then you do your workshop. Maybe you have a break in the middle for a cup of tea, maybe some snacks
Yeah.
to eat. Yeah. And then you do the second half.
Tem um webinar no que estou me lembrando.
Okay. Any other questions about those workshops? No more questions about the workshops at this moment? Okay.
Yeah.
So also for you to know, we have grants, some funding from the British Council to do these workshops. Okay. So
Okay.
that will cover some of the travel expenses for the workshop leaders. It will cover any resources we need to print or any equipment that we need to hire. And I think nearer the time, maybe in September, Caetano will be contacting you about the money. Right, Caetano? Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
correct. That's correct. That's
Great.
correct.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
Okay.
Njamba, is this workshop only for teachers at my school? Great. Such a good question, Njamba. I should have said that. Yeah. So it's for all teachers in your region. So in a perfect world, we have maybe one teacher from 12 different schools in your region. They come to your workshop and then they go
Okay.
home to their school and they take the resource package with them. Yeah. Okay. So it's one workshop for teachers in different schools in your region.
Good.
Yeah. Okay. I think maybe Njamba is writing another question. So I'll let him write his question. So if anybody is very new to doing workshops, and they have some friendly work colleagues, you could start by doing it with your work colleagues at work one afternoon. Yeah. And then you can think, okay, now I'm confident, you can do it again. And Jamba, I know, yes. You've said that if it's the whole region, 12 teachers is a small number. Yeah, I understand this. Yeah. So we are limited by the number, by the grants that we have, basically.
Okay.
So we need to make sure that we can cover the cost of the workshops. When we do the workshops, if it's possible to invite more people than 12, we will, of course. Yeah. But our planning is based on 12 minimum. So that's why, if possible, if we can get teachers from different schools in your region, that's better because they can share then with more people. Okay. Any other thoughts or questions? Then we can invite the coordinators, mainly up to 12. Okay, Nja. Great, Caetano. Do you want to say more about that, Caetano?
No, I think in order to properly manage, let's say, the group and the fund we have, the resource we have, depending on each region. I mean, for example, I think there are some provinces which have only 4 or 5 localities. So this might be easier to enter, let's say, 12 people in a group
Yeah.
or a group.
Great.
Those
Thanks,
cases,
Caetano.
we tend to have larger groups, so we can prioritize coordinators, full coordinators in this case. That's
Yeah.
my
Great. Great. Thank you, Caetano. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
If you do have more questions later, you know you can always contact me and send me a message, yeah, to ask more
Okay.
questions later. Okay. So the
Yeah.
next thing really, there are two things for you to think about in the next week. Okay.
Yes.
One thing is think, am I interested? Do I want to lead a workshop in my region? Okay. So you need to think and decide that. All right. And we will ask you at the end of the week or the beginning of next week. I'll send you a question and say, do you want to do it? Please. Okay. And then
Yes.
the other thing that for you to think about is between now and October, when you do the workshop, try to use the resource package as much as possible in your own classes. Yeah. So use the lessons, use the games and activities, watch the teaching techniques videos. Because the more you understand and you know the resource package, the better for the participants, because you'll be able to share your own experience of using it with them. Okay? All right. Does that sound okay? Yeah?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
perfect. That's
We
perfect.
can hear you perfectly.
Okay, great. So in that case, I'm going to stop the meeting. Okay, so you're free to go. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you.
America.
Bye
Thank you
bye.
very much. Lovely to see you.
Okay.
Bye. Bye bye, guys.
Yeah. Oh, a question.
Oh, yes, Kangala?
Yeah, I'm sorry, yeah. So I would like to know if is there any possibility for those who had subscribed before attending this meeting today, due to some unexpected situation, they were not able to attend the meeting, if they can join the meeting tomorrow
So, yeah, so we have another meeting on
on
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Okay,
Yeah,
yes.
so it's the same session.
The same.
Exactly. I'm going to do the
Okay.
same thing again.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So,
Yeah, because I have received a message from my colleagues who
yeah.
was trying to join the meeting, but unfortunately, was not able to do so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I will
You
tell him just to join on Wednesday.
Wednesday at 6 o'clock. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay. Brilliant.
Yeah,
You.
yeah. Bye.
Okay. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Take care.
Goodbye.